review for chapter 172 of The Promised Neverland. Spoilers alert, I will be discussing the chapter 172 titled Freedom. I'm getting my discussion based on the raw spoilers that just came out. So if you haven't read the raw spoilers, please skip this because these are I'm gonna post some images here and I'm gonna show you the images from the Korean raw scans that are going to be presented in this presentation. So let's begin. First of all, this is the color covered page, and what I love about color covered page is that they signify something like sort of an anniversary. So last time we see a color covered page in the introduction was chapter 72, which was 100 chapters before, and chapter 72 was released around 2017 when Goldie Pond arc was being written or being illustrated by the mangakas. And here in chapter 172 titled Freedom, we get another colored page. In chapter 172, the highlight is the negotiation or peace talk between Emma and Peter. If we parallel this side by side to chapter 72 is when Lucas and Emma arrive at Goldie Pond just so they can find out the goal that James Vatry is trying to communicate to Emma and her friends. In chapter 72, it's Lucas and Emma who found out the elevator at Goldie Pond, which was beautifully illustrated in that color-covered page. In chapter 172, we have here Emma confronting Peter Vatry, who in this illustration has a knife hiding up on his left sleeve. So that's why that's how Peter removed the ties, the ropes that binded him in the previous chapters. Slogan for chapter 172: the blade of madness approaching silently. So you can see the thrill and the suspense already that's being built upon in this color-covered page introduction alone. So let's begin my chapter 172. Kayo Shirai, author's notes, in this magazine or in this weekly issue of Shonen Jump, he said that freedom and doing whatever you want are different, and he was shocked as a kid when he learned about this, and he wants to be truly free. And I believe that's what made him write this Neverland series in the first place, because he wanted to showcase friendship and I guess freedom, in the sense how these kids are fighting for their lives. So you can really see the payoff that is being portrayed or communicated in Kayo Shirai and Pasco Demise's fabulous series. Another thing is that this is the color-covered two-spread page, chapter 172, Freedom, and I really love how these kids are showcased as kids again. The main trio showcased as kids with chessboard pieces, and all the motifs in Promised Neverland, the owl, chess pieces, Norman's glare or smile. I think Pasco Demise drew him this way because it's gonna be his birthday this March 21st. There's binoculars, there's the telescope, chess pieces, little bunny, cards, and in Discord, we discussed the chess pieces. The black ones are the demons. Peter Vatry, he's a human, he's still colored as black, and the good guys here are colored chess pieces are white. Also, if you notice on Emma's head, there's the child demon god. Maybe it's because she is the only person who was able to reforge the promise. So that's why that's a big hint in the manga material, or in foreshadowing this series. And also the slogan here in chapter 172, the slogan is like, if it's the three of us in one night or something like that. Basically that slogan is saying three of us in this one night all together. I think that's the gist of this chapter cover. Moving on, we have on one of the first few pages, we see Peter's breaking point, and he has a Joker-like face in here because he's very tired. He's very like, let's say, mad, I guess, because he has been guarding and mediating for between the demons and the humans for maybe for 1,000 years, and it's very disturbing to let readers see this on its own in this chapter. So we know that he is alone and he's at his breaking point. One thing that I do love about Peter's character design is his eyeshadow. It's not very obvious here because of the black and white, but in previous color pages, I think he has an eyeshadow. If I go back to the here in this color covered page, we cannot see his eyeshadow here, but we can definitely his platinum white blonde hair. Maybe it signifies his similarity to Norman being the clone from Peter Rattray, or the perfect Norman being the perfect clone from Peter and James Rattray. So moving on, Emma is again negotiating with Peter, and we can see Norman and Ray backing her up. I really wish Ray and Norman are not sidelined characters anymore, but it seems that Emma is always taking the spotlight. I don't really know why Kayoshirai is doing this to the other supporting characters. It's supposed to be the three of them, as you can see in this wonderful color covered page. It's supposed to be the three of them, and really Posca de Misu loves drawing the main three characters as children. So I guess whenever she draws them as children, even in volume 13 art cover, they're drawn as children, it's gonna flash back to some childhood memories in the chapter or in the volume to remind readers where it all started. I mean, the escape arc for me is the strongest plot point in the series. That's what makes Neverland so unique, and that's why it stands out among shonen that's why it stands out in other shonen mangas, because it has that psychological mind warfare, and it's centered around the main trio, the main cast. Unlike Kaguya-sama, I guess, I think Love is War, that's a psychological warfare between couples or two lovers, or that are romantically tied together. But with Neverland, it's the psychological warfare are being brainstormed by three brilliant kids, and I think that's the reason why both Eastern and Western readers are adoring this series so much. So again, the talk no jutsu of Emma, I never really understand talk no jutsu before, but I guess that's the anime term for negotiation peace talks of the protagonist, maybe as a plot armor to convince the villain or the antagonist that peace is the way, and that it's better to have peace talks. We can really see Emma stepping up as the leader. Gillian is best girl here, because she like, if you see, Gillian is the next best supporting character. As you can see, Ray and Norman have been sidelined too much, and Kayoshirai is, I guess, he's stepping these supporting characters up onto pedestal levels like Emma's. And Gillian has been shown in several chapters, and she's been highlighted in some of the chapters post Goldie Pond arc, and so she's appearing here again, telling Emma, I won't forgive the demons, I hated them. And I know we can understand it from Gillian's point, because they're unforgivable, the demons, the Rattray clan, all of them. Even Emma admitted to herself that she's debating to herself whether they're supposed to be forgiven, the Rattray clan and the demons, after the things that they did to Norman, to Connie, to Hugo and Lucas, and to all the Goldie Pond kids, even to Chris. And so Emma is debating whether she's doing the right thing again here. But I think the reason why she is taking this route is because it has something to do with the compensation or the reward that she spoke about, or that she promised to the child demon god, because we know Emma is that pacifist character all along after 172 chapters. Even in the beginning, in the escape arc, she wants to bring everybody, and it grew on her as a main character, and it sticks with her. And I think she's not a very dynamic character, she's a flat out character to me, but it's still consistent with Emma's character being written like that for almost like 3 to 4 years right now. She says, I think in here, that she's tired of fighting, that I think in my what from what I'm getting is that her peace talk or negotiation that she's planning with Peter is gonna be equivalent to freedom, as you can see in the bottom panel there. That it's gonna be where there's like shattered glasses or a shattered, maybe shattered world, where the kids, the Neverland kids, are being broken from the demonic system that they were placed in for so long. And then even there's the Queen Ligua Valima there on the side. It signifies Emma's really tired. Emma's been fighting all her life. So I think if in one way or another, there's been theories that Emma is gonna be the sacrifice. She herself is gonna become the child demon god's, I don't know, replacement or whatever, but we will see. Gillian in the flashback agreed to Emma's plans. Even Oliver agreed to Emma's negotiation plans, that they're not gonna kill the demons, but rather they're just gonna knock them out, or defeat them in like less harmful ways. They're not gonna kill them, they're just gonna defeat them. We can see Ray and Emma being shocked. I think back in volume 13, Ray had a spat with Gillian. They were arguing whether they should return to the bunker or to the shelter to look for Lucas, or to seek Lucas and Hugo, after the duo Hugo and Lucas fought against Andrew. But then even Ray again here seeing Gillian as shocked. I think Ray is somewhat tied into either Gillian or Anna. I know this is not a romantic shoujo manga, but if it does take that route, if Kaio Shirai had been allowed by the editor to put more romance tones in here, then I think Ray can be tied up to either Gillian or Anna in one way or another. So we can see here that the Oliver and other Goldie Pond kids didn't kill the demons, they were just knocked out. They did agree to Emma's plans that, or to Emma's negotiation plans, that they're not gonna kill them. And then there's like a role reversal conversation between Emma and Peter. Emma is asking what if she had been born in the Rattray clan, what could she have done to the cattle children? And what if Peter was born as a cattle child? Then what would have changed by then? So it really makes the reader rethink of actions that the two opposing characters here, Peter and Emma, are going to take if their roles were reversed. Posca de Mizu actually added coronavirus in this chapter. Very disturbing, but at the same time, I guess it's one way for readers to get the message that in this TPN series, TPN is a lot about philosophical, in-depth views about accepting other classes, accepting other people despite their differences. And if Emma and her friends did escape to the human society, they will just be escaping to our human society. That's also that even more, that maybe mess up more than the demon world. So it's gonna be a never-ending battle. There's war in the demon world right now in the TPN universe, and there's still a kind of like quote-unquote war that's happening in our society. Like, look at the panel screens. I thought at first that was the demon world because Pepe, Mama Isabella, Oliver, those lookalikes, Hugo, I think those lookalike human characters look as if they're TPN characters, but I guess that's just how Posca de Misa draws these Goldie Pond or kids or children here in this world. There's a like lookalike of Pepe, Mama Isabella in here, but it was just cut off in this image. But there are really some parallelism that I guess our human society, our real life human society, can find similarities in the TPN in universes. Peter Rattray, we know, has been carrying the job or doing his job for more than 1,000 years. I mean, his clan has been doing that since Julius Rattray, the first Rattray, formed the promise with the child demon god. And what Peter and James are doing right now is like they're just following the footsteps of their ancestors, despite knowing the difficult consequences by putting the cattle children in demons' hands or in demons' mouths. They know that this corrupted system is wrong. James tried to escape from that idea by putting like clues to Emma and her friends regarding William Minerva's books, but that failed, and even like his supporters were massacred by Peter Vatry, and it's very disturbing. Now Emma just wants peace, and through negotiation, maybe she's thinking that maybe she can achieve that by extending her hand. I like here in this panel, by extending her hand, she can end the 1,000 years of war between demons and humans. Emma even dropped her gun here. But even if she dropped her gun, Ray and Norman are backing her up. So there's this warfare that's occurring right now in the TPN universe. And I think many commenters in Discord or Reddit are replying, or are, they're not replying, I mean, that they're commenting that the main villain of the series is the promise to the child demon god itself. Not the child demon god, but the promise, I mean the system. And there's also been talks. What I love about joining the Discord app or the Reddit app is that there has been conversations how there are a lot of gray area characters in this series, and it's not all black and white. It is shonen, but it's still the strategy and psychological warfare and the philosophical views are still in there, similar to other mangas, like I guess Full Metal Alchemist. I don't read mangas that much, but if I do read them, I only pick ones that are very philosophical in nature, to the extent that I would be thinking about my own actions in my situation in the real life. And I believe that's what Promise Neverland is standing out, despite being in a shonen weekly manga series. Emma's peace talk is consistent to her character. She's like flat out one-dimensional character me, unlike Ray and Norman, who changed throughout the series. What will Peter's decision be? And the slogan for this last panel is that yes, we can understand each other. So I think that is very questionable, despite Emma's purpose or goals. And I think Kaio Shirai and Pasco Namizu just keeps the hype up in this series even now. So let me know what you think about what's gonna happen in Promise Neverland chapter 172, and let me know what you think about this chapter. Thank you very much for listening, and have